it's also important because it's a comfort zone. You see someone looks at you, it makes you feel like, hey, I'm not here by myself. I know that I have another team player. I use this as an example. When I was at the Colorado Department of Labor in the Quality Citizen Employment and Wages Unit, I was the only Black supervisor for 17 years. Okay? The way I think is totally different than the way some other people think. But if we have a group of people that are all the same race, and I'm over here in a different race, then they're going to think what I have to say isn't important. It doesn't matter because the majority rules. But when you have a diverse group, you have a better chance to come up with the best solution for the group versus more being better versus diversity means it's a group decision.
Welcome to another episode of Innovation Insights, where we dive deep into the minds shaping the future of industries through innovation, creativity, and groundbreaking research. We believe that innovation happens in all aspects of life. I am your host, Dr. Eulanda Sanders. Today, we are honored to have De'Edra Dangerfield, a true leader and inspiration in the world of education, sports, and community engagement. For over 25 years, De'Edra has been a dedicated advocate for youth, positively impacting their lives in the classroom and on the playing field. De'Edra currently serves as the athletic director at the Denver School of Science and Technology at the Cole campus. She recently retired from a remarkable 17-year career with the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment, where her contributions earned her accolades from Governor Jared Polis. Her educational background is just as impressive, holding a Bachelor of Arts degree in Mass Communication from the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and a Master's of Business Administration with an emphasis in Public Administration and Human Resource Management from the University of Phoenix. A native of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, De'Edra shined as a high school All-American athlete and a 4-year member of the University of Louisiana Lafayette's basketball team. Her coaching career is equally distinguished, having coached both girls and boys sports at the elementary, middle, and high school levels, earning numerous honors, including Coach of the Year and a Lifetime Achievement Award. Notably, De'Edra led the Denver Prep League's first state girls basketball championship team to an undefeated 24-0 season, the first and only Black female coach in Colorado to achieve this. Beyond her professional achievements, De'Edra is deeply committed to giving back to the Black community, creating opportunities for youth, and promoting diverse representation in sports and education. She enjoys spending time with her family, traveling, attending sporting events, and caring for her meticulously maintained lawn in her spare time. So today, we will explore De'Edra's incredible journey, her passion for youth development, and the impact of her initiatives like the Ballers basketball team and the Courts to College program, and her insights on the importance of self-care and life balance. So join us as we delve into De'Edra Dangerfield's inspiring life and work. Coach Dangerfield, it's wonderful to have you here. I'm used to calling you Coach Dangerfield because my family has known you for quite a while now, and you've had such an impact on the life of my family and especially my nephews and my niece. Just so thrilled to have you here, and you're such a special person to us. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad and excited to be here, and I love your family.
We love you. We consider you family. You've had such a remarkable career in education and sports. Let's start off. What drew you to sports in your life, and how did you get started in sports?
Both my parents were very athletic. My dad played basketball and bowled, and my mom and my dad both played on a co-ed softball league. My dad was in the Air Force. The Air Force and the military always have things for families to do. They were in bowling leagues, and they kept us very active at a young age because they felt that we need to do something besides go to school. And so we did a lot of things, played kickball, dodgeball, basketball, anything that the base had for kids to do, we were the first ones there to do it. So that's what actually initiated and kickstarted me wanting to play sports and be involved in extracurricular activities.
Wow. And so you had quite the high school career and then college. Being a D1 collegiate athlete that's a full-time job, and it's a challenge. And so what was that like?
High school was great. My sister and I went to a Catholic high school, and they were geared around sports and being a student athlete. And so we had a great high school career. We had a good coach. We loved the school. It was a lot of fun. But when we got on scholarship to go to University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and I'm glad to say ULL, it was totally different. This is in the 80s. It was not anything that was magical for female athletes. We didn't get the tours. We did not even have a bus. If our games were 4 hours away, we had to drive ourselves in the station wagons. But we did it because we loved sports and we loved supporting the Raging Cajuns and was excited to not have to pay to go to school.
Now, you're a twin, correct? Because you mentioned your sister. And so
Yes.
you both went to and played at the university together?
Yes, and we both played on the UL's basketball team for 4 years, and we both played on the same high school team for 4 years. So it was a blessing to have someone that you are used to playing with, and at the same time on the court, because honestly, it was an advantage for us.
Oh, I bet it was. I bet it was, because there's a lot of research around twins and your communication between each other. The two of you were probably spectacular together.
Yes, we were. A lot of people said we were also. We were highly recruited out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And at that time, in the early 80s, they didn't recruit women like that. So we had a lot of people, a lot of coaches at our high school games, and a lot of people talking about us. And then our last name was Dangerfield. At that time, Rodney Dangerfield was popular. So they'd be like, the Dangerfield twins get all the respect.
Oh my gosh, I have never thought about that. That was the time when Rodney Dangerfield. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then
Like you deserved all the respect, like, oh my goodness. Oh. So how did your high school and your collegiate career impact your thought about working with youth and coaching kids?
I think just the support that I had, like the early age, my parents, then we had, for the most part, really good coaches that supported us and helped us on the court and academically, and making sure we understood that after basketball for females, you're done. So what are you going to do to support yourself? And I think it's just the surrounding cast around me got me to start thinking about, hey, I need to make sure I'm doing well. And then when I got out, I'm like, these folks wouldn't have been here for me. I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So I felt like I was obligated and committed to give back.
That makes sense. And I like what you've said about it's changed a bit. Anyways, we still don't have the equality between men professional basketball and women's professional basketball, but there's definitely been more recognition of women's basketball. So what are your thoughts about women's pro basketball today?
I'm excited for the women. I think that we've worked so hard and paved the way to where we're at right now. I think it's been a long time coming. I'm excited for the females that are in athletics and right now, and I hope they continue to work hard because they deserve all the publicity, all of the fame, all of the income, all of the added work and bonuses that they're getting right now because it's been a long time coming. So I'm excited.
I am too. I am too. It has been a long time coming. And thinking about that, I mean, you have had such a groundbreaking career as a coach. And I have watched you coaching, being the only female basketball coach, coaching young men, young boys, and being the only female there, but then also leading a team to a state championship and undefeated record. That's incredible. Can you share what that process was like and highlights from that season? And what did that mean to you as a coach?
When I coached at the high school that won the state title, and I say Mount Bello High School, I started out very small because I created a program called the Mount Bello Tiny Tots, where they were kindergartners through like 5-year-olds. And then 2 years later, I advanced it to middle school. And majority of those kids that were on my state championship team went through my program. And then they eventually came to the high school. They actually, how do you say, fell right into the plans of winning the state championship, of knowing how hard you have to work, knowing that no one's going to give you anything. And more important, it's hard to be the first. Not only were we the first team to win the championship, did the Denver Prep League, but we were also the first Denver Prep women's team that was held at the number 1 seed the entire season. And with a lot of pressure, we held it together. We stood honed in on the goal, and I had great parent support, administration support, and of course the kids. We had no issues at all for the entire season. Actually, from the junior year to the senior year, we actually should have won our junior year too. But it is what it is. We won it 1 year.
Oh, again, congratulations on that. And I can imagine the impact that you had on these young women's lives as you did this. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I still stay in contact with a lot of the girls as they have their families now. A few of the girls are coaching. A few of the girls are in mentorships or work with a group homes. So a lot of the girls are giving back also.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That kind of leads to my next question about giving back, because that is just part of your DNA, is giving back to the Black community, to the community in general, to young people. And I met you through the Ballers basketball team, and I'll just tell this funny story. My youngest nephew was playing basketball, and he played against your team, and they just got beat bad. And shame. I remember being in the parking lot after the game, and we saw you come out. And I said to my sister, I said, you need to go over there and Joshua on that team. And my sister is much more outgoing than me. And I did instigate and say, well, that's how we met. But tell us about the Ballers basketball team, because it was in place much longer than when rejoined it.
We started the Ballers Basketball Club, and my niece was in kindergarten because the programs and things we put her in was not geared to what we wanted her to learn. We are a basic military family, which means we're very structured, right? We're structured, we're organized, and we're flexible. We had her on a team that was not, first of all, allowing her to have fun. Second of all, was not committed to time as far as practice. She had a 45-minute practice, and the coach was getting there 15 minutes late. And we were in a program where you only had this amount of time. So it's just like she wasn't getting the time that she needed. So she wasn't having fun. She wanted to quit. And like I said, our family was very structured. So we decided to create the Ballers. And we wanted it to be a nonprofit. We wanted to teach kids how to play sports. We started with basketball. We did some volleyball also, but we mostly basketball. And we started with the fundamentals. Some folks say, hey, you don't need it. Some folks say you do it too much. I'm just going to throw it out there. I've had a lot of success teaching fundamental from square one on a regular basis. We started the Ballers, Colorado Ballers basketball program. We're a nonprofit. We also wanted our kids to have opportunities to travel. So we would put in place tournaments out of the state. But when we go out of the state, we would go there a day early and we would go visit colleges. And we called that program Courts to College. And so our kids got a chance to walk on the college floors, talk to the coaches. A couple of the colleges allowed us to have practices there. We even stayed in the dormitory one time versus staying in a hotel. It was just a great opportunity for our kids. Then we had a few of our coaches and parents were teachers. And so we ended up having our own tutorial program. We would have that on Wednesdays for about 2 hours where kids can come in. And if they need help with their homework, if they have projects that they need to do, anything along those lines.
Tell us about how you started the Ballers.
I started the Ballers because my niece was playing on a rec team, which is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be developmental, and it wasn't. She wasn't having fun. The coach was very intense, and she was like 5 years old. She was a taller 5-year-old. She probably looked like she was in second grade. And the coach thought she should have known more. It was her first time playing. They didn't spend a lot of time with the team because the coach was always late or talking on the phone or just doing other stuff. And so we wanted her to have an opportunity to learn the skill set of playing basketball and the skill set of the camaraderie of being on a team. And so we decided to go on and start our own program. Sandria was our financial advisor. She's been in finance for a long time. And Denicia was she did most of the marketing stuff. And then I was the president. And so we set up a team. It was a developmental team. We started with the skill set of dribbling, passing, shooting, and we drilled that every single day. Because without those things, you can't really play the game of basketball. Then we just decided to develop even more. We wanted to not just be an athletic club, but also an academic club. And we had teachers and staff on our club and sororities and fraternities that helped us set up a tutorial program. On Wednesdays, if our kids needed help with homework or a project, they could come for 2 hours and get our help. But they needed us to go to a class, talk to a teacher, or get some better understanding with their parents' permission, we would do that. And we even pushed it a little bit further. In addition to the practices, the tutorial program, we decided that a lot of our kids had never left the state before, never been on a plane, never been on a bus, never traveled to play a sport. So we started a program called Courts to College, where we would and we would go to the tournament a day early, and we would visit a college campus, and they would show us around, talk to the college coach, talk to players. A few of the colleges were able to allow us to practice on the floor, and even depending on what time it is of the year, we were able to stay in a dorm. And that really shot off. Kids were really excited about wanting to go to college, wanting to play sports. And we just had a great time with everyone.
So this was started by you and your two sisters.
Yes.
And how long did it run?
I would say my niece I want to say she's 37 now. And so we stopped the year that the pandemic hit, when COVID hit. That's when we stopped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over 30.
Early 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. How many I mean, do you have any idea how many students you coached through that?
I would say thousands. I have, you know, it's so funny. I've been to a lot of college graduations, for high school graduations, college graduations, weddings, celebrations, you name it, from all of my kids that I've coached. And you're not going to believe this. I've never not attended when I've gotten an invitation. So I've done a lot of traveling and a lot of sitting and a lot of, gosh, this kid, all he would do would cry, or all she would do was be upset because she couldn't get the ball. Now look at how successful they are.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. And so innovative to see a need. It was a family need, but then you grew that need to really impact so many people's lives. Thank you. Just thank you.
You're welcome. I'm excited to say a lot of my players are now also giving back. I have a girl that went to Montbello, and she was in cheer and just all type of sports. She has her sports. I mean, her program now is a cheer program, and my niece Skyla is in her program. I remember when she was in middle school and high school, and her program is so successful. Yesterday was her birthday. I went to her birthday party, and she says, "Coach D, I'm doing this because of you. This is what you taught me. And you taught me how to be successful. You taught me how to give back. And I'm doing this because of you." And that really, it made me feel so good.
It really shows how one person or a group of people or a family can make a difference. Yeah. So, yeah. Someone who has coached over 30 some years, how do you see the role of sports shaping the lives of young people? What skill do people get from sports? Because sometimes people think, oh, sports is just sports.
I tell you right now, if you have a child, they need to be in some type of extracurricular activity. It teaches leadership. It teaches camaraderie. It teaches you how not to be shy. It teaches you how to speak your piece or your word. It also keeps you healthy. It also grooms you to become a leader. To me, in my eyes, without sports, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. My public speaking is because of the sports. But when I was team captain, just having to talk to my team and relay information, sports and extracurricular activities, I don't care what, if it's Girl Scouts, I don't care. It's whatever it is, it teaches you how to lead. And it also teaches you how to be a follower. It teaches you how to listen and come up with better solutions and suggestions. So sports is number one in my book. Extracurricular activity is number one in my book. And actually, I don't know how you can groom a kid without giving them more than just being a student. I mean, life skills, there's so many that you can learn with sports.
I agree.
Let me just throw this out here. Your nephew, both your nephews, but I'm going to say Joshua first. Joshua, I watched him grow up to the man that he is right now. And at first he was timid about the game. I knew he would be a great shooter and really get on to how do you say, his drive for basketball. As I watched each step each year, he got better and better. I remember telling Denise that, my God, Josh is good. And he's even has room for even more improvement. So he's going to be even better. His work ethic was so hard. He was probably one of the hardest working ballers on our team. He wanted it.
Oh, well, thank you. That he learned so much from you. Yeah, all three kids did. Yeah, all three of them spent time with you, and we really appreciate again your leadership and mentorship with them.
No, thank you. Well, they already had it. They had a strong family, so they already had it.
Oh, thank you. Let's talk a little bit about diverse representation in work environments. And Why do you feel it's important for people to see diverse representation in leaders and coaches, in work environments?
It's important for our kids to see that so they can see themselves in that role. It's also important because it's a comfort zone. You see someone who looks like you, it makes you feel like, hey, I'm not here by myself. I know that I have another team player. I use this as an example. When I was at the Colorado Department of Labor in the Quality Citizens Employment and Wages Unit, I was the only Black supervisor for 17 years. Okay. The way I think is totally different than the way some other people think. But if we have a group of people that are all the same race, and I'm over here in a different race, then they're going to think what I have to say isn't important. It doesn't matter because the majority rules. But when you have a diverse group, you have a better chance to come up with the best solution for the group versus more being better versus diversity means it's a group decision. I use this as an example. We used to have bring your child work day. And the managers, we had to set up things for kids to do from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and from 12 to 1, we had lunch. We would have kids come to our group and we would do all kind of things with them, talk about what our unit is, bring them to the office, play games, whatever. When we had kids of diversity, they wanted to be in my group, whether it was Hispanics, Asians, they wanted to be with my group. They didn't want to be in a group with just one nationality. They wanted to be in the more diverse group. And we would talk about what school you're going to, who's your best friend, who's your favorite teacher. This person likes math and this person likes math, but these two people like English. It was so much better. I even had a kid come to me and say, hey, you're the only lady. And another kid, hey, you're the only Black lady here. But they kids notice it, people notice it. And I think the diversity piece is something that we have to have if we're going to be successful.
I agree. I agree. And yeah, I like what you said that kids see it, they recognize it, they'll call it out, and that's good. And I also like what you said too about you being the only Black supervisor. And then since you were the only Black supervisor, people not thinking what you said or did matter or was important or was credible.
I had to pick and choose my battles because I was discounted a lot at the Colorado Department of Labor. And it's just because they were used to doing things a certain way. And my brain doesn't work like that. I always want to work smarter, not harder. And I always think outside the box. So my suggestions was never anything that they were thinking about. But I had to choose what I wanted to fight for and what I didn't want to fight for because it gets really tiring and you want to give up, but you have to be selective. And then I look back 17 years of that all the way to the end was different for me.
I bet. I bet. I bet.
I never once had a Black manager or supervisor over me at the Colorado Department. Not one time.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Yep. Yeah, I think there's many people that can say that they've never had a Black supervisor.
And that's sad. That's really sad.
Yeah, and a variety of careers, and regardless of what your ethnic background is, yeah, I think there's a lot of people that can say that they haven't.
I think I had a lot of diversity. It was Anglo-Saxon for me, the whole 17 years. That was it.
Yep, that's pretty much been my career too. Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Oh, yeah. So, well, let's talk about life as a twin. We touched on that a little bit earlier. So what was it like being a twin, and how did that shape your life, and what role does family play in your personal and professional life?
Being a twin is great. My sister Denicia is my best friend. She is the person that is most honest with me, and she is my support. If I need anything, she's always there for me. My family is also very big. My sister Sandria is very big in the finance world. She's the one who taught me, hey, you want to make as much money as you can, but you don't spend as much as you make. And I still use that to this day. My brother is also military. He joined the Marines. He's a hard worker. He also allowed us to coach his son with the ballers. And no, we spend a lot. I spend a lot of time with my family. We go on family trips and cruises, and we are a sports family. There's not a Sunday or a Saturday that goes by when a big football or basketball game comes on, or we're not at someone's house, at our a family member's house, watching the game and enjoying already. 'Cause your family's big in sports too. Let the Broncos game. We ready to rock and roll, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I love that. My parents were the same way. We're from Louisiana. When the Saints came on back then, they weren't very good, but every Sunday we thought we were going to win. So we were all at my grandmother's house, eating Dumbo or jambalaya or getting ready for the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A couple weeks ago, the Broncos played the Saints, didn't they?
We looked horrible. It was a bad showing for the Saints, but I'm also a Broncos fan, so it was a 50-50 split.
Oh, yeah. Well, yep, we watched the game here. Yes. Oh, so, in education, and lifelong learning has really been an important part of your life, too. You hold the MBA with the dual emphasis. What inspires you, and also any advice that you have for people about being lifelong learners?
Mhm.
Why is that important?
It's important that you do that, because if you don't, then you're listening to someone else give you direction. You need to be at the forefront of your education and learning. I mean, I love sports, and I wanted to be a TV broadcaster, but I was thinking to myself, it's not going to be something that's going to happen as a Black female. Probably not. But maybe I can land a job in human resources and make sure it's fair and equitable for people of diversity. And so that's what I looked at. And my MBA, I always wanted to own my own business. Instead, we did our own nonprofit, but it teaches you how to be successful. And you're crazy if you don't want to be a continuous learner.
Yeah. It's so important. It's so important. And that's one thing that, one of our values, we have 6 core values with innovation insights. And one of them is continuous learning. Really important.
You have to, because things change so much. There's so many variables with things changing at the blink of an eye. You have to keep up with it. You
That
may
is
not,
true.
you may not be the best at it, but you need to know about it.
Yes, that's true. That is true. That is true. And part of your community and learning and kind of family is your sorority. And so, yeah, could you talk a little bit about sororities and Black sororities? Because a lot of our audience may not even understand that the role of Black sororities and fraternities within the Black community.
Now, yes, first I just talk a little bit about the Divine Nine, or it's a group of 9 sororities that were put together to help the Black communities be successful, whether it's economic, financial, whatever the Black communities use. The sororities and fraternities were there to aid and help and assist, and were very successful at it. I have to say, I'm in the best sorority of the Divine Nine. I am a member of the Delta Sigma Beta Incorporated sorority. I'm a member of the General Alumni chapter. Delta Sigma Beta Incorporated serves an array of public service initiatives that are centered around 5-point programmatic thrusts. We have economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement / social action. I'm probably in 4 different groups right now. The biggest group is our political action. You guys already know, stroll, roll, walk, or run to vote. Our future depends on it. And that's what we're doing right now. All of Divine 9 is helping folks become registered, showing folks how to get to the polls, educating people to let them know, especially diverse people can vote. You need to get to ask for help. It does not matter if you had a felon. It does not matter if you're in jail. You can still vote. Don't let anyone tell you that. So our Divine 9 and the Deltas are there to make sure you know that voting is important and that we're here to help. But yeah, we do an array of different things. I can probably talk to you for hours about Delta Sigma Theta sorority, but we are at the forefront of our community to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're successful and to make sure they have what they need.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That is a great overview. And so for our listeners and our viewers,
Mhm.
there's white sororities or other sororities. What is it important that there are Black sororities and fraternities?
Well, it's important because we know what the needs are. We either grew up in it, our families grew up in it, our grandparents grew up in it, and the battle is always going to be the same or close to it. So we know what the need is. And then more importantly, if you see someone that looks like me and looks like you, and we look the same, you're comfortable with going to that person and saying, hey, can you help me with this? And what's going to get done?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's so important. And thank you for shedding the light on the role of Black sororities and fraternities.
One thing though, Deltas, we also gauge towards our youth. We have several programs for our youth to try to get them ready because they're going to be our future and we need to start educating them and making them aware quickly. We have the Delta gyms, we have Embody, we have the Betty Shabab's Delta program, we have life skills and how to make sure that you take time for yourself. There's a lot of different programs that we run for youth, for elderly, and for people who are retired. Because we still want our retirees to be involved. So if you need anything, give me a call. Just look me up.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, again, that lifelong support and learning community. And you mentioned retirement,
Yes.
and I'm going to use air quotes. So you retired.
Yes. I did retire.
From your first career, and now you have this other career as athletic director. And how did you navigate the transition of retirement? And then what made you choose to start your next career?
Actually, I retired from the Colorado Department of Labor because I just felt like it was time. I've been there for a long time. I felt like I did as much as I could do. And I wanted to spend time with my family and travel and go to games and just do things that I want to do. I'm one of those people that are like a workaholic. I can't start something without finishing it. And time has no value for me because I want to get it done. And so that's why I retired from the state. Then I had a friend that was a school director and she needed someone to come in and hit the floor running for athletics because students were not sad to school because there were no extracurricular activities. There was no athletics. There was nothing like that. And here's the thing about a retiree and why you want to hire if they want to come back, because they know, like you know, you have a network of people that can help us get ready for facility uses. You have a network of officials. You can coach pretty much every sport. And so I thought about it and thought about it. I love sports so much I always wanted to work in it besides, doing nonprofit work. I said yes. So here I am 11 years later. And now that started out as a athletic director of the high school, and now I'm the director of athletics for the co-campus. And I also started our first Denver School of Science and Technology middle school league because we did not have one. So yes, I'm hitting the floor running again.
Absolutely. I love what you said about hiring retirees because, yeah, they come with all this knowledge and experience and skills. Like I said, network. They have a
Mhm.
network.
That is a big help. They have a big network of people that know what they're doing, can point you in the right direction, and more importantly, they're willing to help. I say at Cole, I have a few people, and I'm just going to go and name them because I could not do half of what I do without those folks. Uh, Sam Piggies with the Buffalo Soldiers, they give our school, DSST Cole, a academic scholarship every year to our seniors that are going to college. Roy Smith on our signer gives us was a gift cards and whatever we need for teacher appreciation week. We are having our first ever Letterman jackets. And we have folks from the Divine Nine in my church that donated funding to give free jackets to the captains of each team. So it's nice to have a good network of people willing to help.
It is. It is. The network. And I'm working with several groups and people on building their network. And it is so important. It is so important. So thank you for those examples too.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you're busy. You're a doer. You do. You so how do you take time and balance? I know you take time for your family and your travel. How have you navigated that? Your time management, career management.
Whenever I feel myself getting burned out or I feel myself needing some time to myself, I love being outside. I go for a walk. I have a flower garden at home. I work in my garden. I just got a deck built on the back of and so I go outside and just relax. I love listening to jazz music. And I'm going to tell you this, even though I'm old, I love concerts. Those concerts at Red Rocks are my favorite to go to. And so I just try to take time out for myself and do some fun stuff. I love going to the movies. The movie jam is another one of my great places I love to go to. I love walking on trails. I just try to take myself away from everything. Don't bring any work with me and just try to relax. My number one thing though is cruises. I'm actually going on a cruise for spring break. So I'm excited about it. No, so I don't bring any work with me. Nothing. Not even have my cell phone on.
Smart. Completely disconnect.
Yes.
Well, I want to argue with you. I know you're not old at all. I mean, you have more energy. And I love that you take that time and you recognize when you need to take a break. That's really important.
Yeah. And y'all can believe this. I have a dog. And so my dog also keeps me grounded because I can't leave. His name is Simba. I can't leave him at home all day and all night. So I'm just like, hold up. I got a break. I got to go home. I got my dog waiting for me. But that helps. That helps also.
Oh, Simba. Oh, I love the name.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're looking ahead. I know that you have some future goals and plans and projects. And so what are some of those? And then also, what legacy do you want to leave behind in education and in sports?
Mhm. Well, the legacy would be to have people helping kids. Folks need to understand that the kids are our future. The more we can help them be knowledgeable, the more we can help them understand that hard work pays off, the better that we will all be in. So I would love it if people would continue to help our youth and help develop them. As far as goals ahead of time, I would love to go back to my hometown of Louisiana and help rebuild the area where we lived, there's some, how do you say, some powerful people that are wanting to tear down a whole neighborhood. It's called Easy and build, what do they do? Build apartments and all this other stuff. So it's a group of people that are getting together saying, hey, we're going to try to rebuild this neighborhood. We're going to keep it where it is. It's a historical area. It's by the state capitol. So my goal is to go back home and try to help them save our easy town.
Nice, nice, nice. That's a great goal.
Thank you.
Oh, our last question is, how do you define innovation?
Well, I think first of all, you have to be a continuous improver. You have to improve yourself verbally, with vision, and be flexible. You also have to be one of those people that thinks ahead of the game. And I would say I'm not good at technology, but I know I can maneuver my way around it. I think technology is going to be another key to being innovative. If you don't know it, find somebody who does. And that's why I have my assistant is really good with technology, and she explains a lot to me. I know it's going to be at the forefront of innovation, I'll say.
Oh, thank you for that definition. And thank you for being on the podcast and having this discussion with me.
You're welcome.
I've always admired you and your family. I feel like you have been innovators and entrepreneurs by starting a nonprofit that really has impacted a lot of people in so many ways. And so thank you for sharing your story with our listeners and joining us on this episode.
You're so welcome. But Eulanda, thank you for having me. It's been very nice. I love talking about the past, the future, and the present with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just been a joy. And to our listeners, we hope that you found De'Edra's story inspiring as I did, and follow us on social media. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch for updates. And remember that innovation begins with courage, taking that first step to create change, and you can do it. And always remember to keep innovating, keep dreaming, and keep making a difference.